daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies.
Welcome back to Death Metal Daddies. My name is Jeff.
Oh, okay. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, welcome back to another week with us here at Death Metal Daddies. Uh,
Yep. Coming
yep,
at you live
yeah. Back after
for
Father's
us, I
Day.
guess. Yep,
Another
that's
great
right.
Father's Day weekend. How was your Father's Day weekend?
The could be the most important holiday of them all,
It
I'd say.
is. It is. I mean, some people say Christmas, some people say Easter, but you know what? Um, when talking about those days, you still think about Jesus' father, God,
Yeah.
the Father. So it all
Yep.
goes back to Father's Day,
The seed. Yep.
Daddy's Day.
Hell yeah. Give yourself a pat on the back, man.
Absolutely. No one knows how hard you
Hell
daddies
yes.
have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was your Father's Day?
Um, yeah, it was good, man. It was awesome. Actually, it was kind of crazy. The kids were terrible moods all day, but the weekend was good. So I started the weekend, took the wife to go see Post Malone and Jelly Roll
How was
at
that?
Thunder Ridge. The show was really cool. Have you been to Thunder Ridge? You have, right?
Yeah, I saw all over in the news about the nightmare the getting to Thunder Ridge was this weekend.
Dude, I mean, the worst fucking traffic I have ever been in, hands down, in my life. And so we literally booked a hotel in Branson, stayed there that night, and then left like the hotel. I don't know, we got there like 2-ish, 3-ish or something, and left the hotel at like 4 to 5. I was like, well, if we get there early, we can just like hit up the food vendors and shit like that, check out the merch. I was like, sure, let's just head out now. So we leave between 4 and 5 thinking we're gonna be fine. It's like a 20-minute drive. And so, dude, we get on the highway and like we get 20 miles out. I guess the whole trip was probably close to 20, but I don't know. 10 miles out and we're like at a dead stop in the right lane on it. It's a 2-lane highway. I don't even know if it's a highway actually. But anyways, we're like dead stop and in the right lane. I noticed the left lane's still going. I'm like, okay, well, this lane we had 2 exits to go till we got to the Thunder Ridge like exit where we needed to be, but it was like literally just whole time just displaying 40 minutes and it just never changed. So like it just continued to grow and it like, dude, literally turned into 3 hours, like just on the highway. We were at a dead stop in the right lane. I was like, fuck this. If we're getting in, like, we have to move. And so I got into the left lane, skirted like a few hundred people. And I just feel bad for those that were stuck in the right lane because, dude, there's people that didn't even get into the show. And
Yeah.
so it was terrible, terrible parking, like arrangement, like organization, the logistics of it all just absolutely sucked balls. And I left a bitchy Karen review on Google about it, because it was terrible. But what really made me leave the review is like reading all these other reviews people had already made about it. This woman had driven hours away or got these tickets for her and her dad for Father's Day and literally just hours long in traffic that night, gets to the gate front entrance and they turn her away. Wouldn't even let her come in because there was no more parking available. So I'm like, how do you sell a ticket but then tell the people that they can't come in?
Yeah,
Like
that's
that is
that's
just
ridiculous.
fucking crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And I me and Lex have like looked into it and it looks like their response was, well, there was a fatal traffic accident like on that highway going to towards that place, but which is true, but that happened at 2 p.m. that day. And it was a motorcyclist. He was like a teenager hit like two other vehicles or something. He ended up dying, but I don't know the details of it, and that sucks. I mean, I'm not saying, but it's just it feels like they're trying to cover up their problems by making that like their reasoning because you get there and it was still just disorganized fucking chaos, dude. Like
Hmm.
the people were just waving fucking wands anywhere, telling people to go when people were driving. I'm like, it was a mess, dude. It was a mess, and yeah, we finally just, I mean like I said, skipped a ton of people, got back into the right lane, and right before the exit, thankfully, and we just skirted on in, like slowly but surely. And I just fucking, we ended up parking in the RV slash drop off zone, whatever that is. I don't know.
Oh, that's like pretty
So
far, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, we had to walk all the way from there to the actual venue inside. And so we didn't even get down into where our tickets got us until after 8 and Jelly Roll had already started. And, it's like, I'm not like a guy hard of either, but I just figured, it's probably going to be a good show. It's Jelly Roll and Post Malone. So, but Post Malone, dude, blew my mind. He was absolutely phenomenal live. Killer performer, great entertainer. And that venue itself is awesome, man. But like,
Hmm.
I just couldn't help but that took away such a huge chunk of the night and just a
Yeah.
big damper on the night. And then like we were talking to people leaving the venue and they're like, "Oh yeah, this place sucks." We were just sharing our stories. They're like, "Oh, this is terrible. You should have seen it at blah blah blah." We didn't get out of here. The show ended at midnight. We didn't get out of here until 3 a.m. I was like, "Oh my gosh." So we're like walking back to the car and I'm just like trying to go faster. I'm like, "We gotta fucking go now." And we ended up getting back to our hotel. Like it took a long time, but fortunately we got back to our hotel like I don't know 1:30 ish. So yeah, it sucked getting out too, but it wasn't near as bad getting in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's also in such an inconvenient location off of a two-lane highway that's probably normally hardly ever busy unless they have events. So it's like I don't know, dude. They need to do something. Open up a third lane or some shit because that was
Yeah.
just god awful.
Yeah, because I saw your post, and then like the next day, I was just walking by the TV and saw on the news they were talking about they're interviewing some girl who's like in tears. I guess she was in traffic for like 3 hours and moved 1 mile, and I guess didn't get
Holy
in till
shit.
like halfway through Post Malone. It's like, man,
Oh man.
that's terrible. And they even had
Yeah.
like everyone waited at least an hour, but the most common one was a 3 hour wait in traffic. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's
man.
fucking bananas, dude. There's just no excuse for that. It's just blatantly shitty fucking organization, especially in the
Hmm.
parking. But I heard that I guess their statement was they hired a company and it was this company's job to do the parking organization, traffic controller and shit. So yeah, it was god awful. I don't know who that company was, but I'd say
Yeah,
they're probably never getting hired again.
and that's surprising because when we went to Chris Stapleton there, I think we got there like 2 hours earlier, maybe an hour and a half early, but it was easy as shit to get in. Parking was
Really?
easy. There was even people tailgating. They had a giant porta potty center so for people to tailgate and just hang out in the parking lot. No issues
Wow.
there. So I'm
Damn.
surprised that parking was that bad. But I think it's
Oh,
probably
dude, yeah.
because how big Post Malone is.
Right. He is huge. And so I heard a couple things that one, there was people that they weren't even ticket holders, but and so like they did this thing like if you held a general admission ticket, that's your essentially your parking pass. Like they didn't check anything for parking. But so I heard what happened is a bunch of people that like didn't even have tickets just went there and they just got in. And so I don't know how they got into the concert area because they did check us there, but I don't know if they were just going to hang out and trying to sneak in somehow. Maybe they knew a different way. I don't know. But so I heard that happened. I don't know if it's true or not, but also I heard that people that purchase preferred parking, like to secure their spot, they still were routed to general admission parking areas. We're fucking pissed over it. I was like, dude, I would be so livid. Like, yeah, I paid $100 for this spot. Someone just pulls up. Oh shit, I got in for free. Like, damn, dude. Yeah, just sounds like a nightmare. I
Yeah,
mean, it was a nightmare. It was absolutely a nightmare. Worst traffic experience I've ever had, but the show was awesome, dude. Like Post Malone, he was pretty incredible live, man. Really kind of surprised me, but or I mean, I don't know. He's basically legendary for a reason. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And you did
It's
like
cool.
the
It was
venue?
awesome though. I liked it like once we were in there, but like we didn't get to experience it by any means. We just got
Yeah,
to a spot, basically stood there. I went and got a couple beers, but like we didn't get to check out any merch spots or anything like that, any of the food or anything.
I gotcha.
But
Yeah, because they have
I
like
don't
a
know.
food mart kind
I'm
of
sure
thing
that
over
shit
there.
was, yeah, I've seen that, which I thought that was cool, but I don't know. I'm sure it's outrageous too, knowing that venue
Yeah, true.
or just
And
knowing who owns it, being Johnny Morris Bass Pro affiliated.
how much was your beer?
It was 20. I pretty much expected it to be. I was like, yeah, these are going to be $20 beers. I was wondering if it was going to be more than 20. So that kind of wouldn't have surprised me, but you know, I think the only way it justifies it is that they were 25 ounces.
Yeah.
So I was, I don't think that was too bad, but the fact that you could still buy that at the gas station for $2 is crazy.
Yeah. Huge markup. But I will say the Thunder Ridge shows, the Crane, like the city town that my kids go to school to, they run their
Hmm.
athletic fundraisers. They're like the people typically like there's a bunch of people selling stuff there or will work there that they're doing it to raise money for the athletics here because it's such a small town. So some of your money's going to a good cause.
Huh, yeah. Now and that's the crappy thing about it is I like that Johnny Morrison, like Bass Pro, is so tied to conservation in a certain amount. They do fund conservation projects and stuff like that, which is awesome. But um, I don't know. I definitely see like the financial kind of greediness behind it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'm just a negative Nancy.
I gotcha.
But yeah, man. So that was the weekend basically. That was Friday. But oh yeah, that was the I guess what I was getting to is the kids. Um, we went out for like a brunch on Father's Day. It was cool, spend time and everything. But man, as the day went on, their attitude just got really tough, really difficult throughout the day and night. It's just one of those days, man. It was like it was a full moon or something. They just acted crazy. But they stayed with their grandma, and so I'm sure they got everything that they wanted and more over there because she likes to spoil them. So, but
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, my kids were kind of like that on Father's Day. They were more so like that on Mother's Day. I don't know if it's just like they know it's a holiday to where they have to show love to a certain parent, but I feel like they don't like the attention being away from them, so they have to do something to act up.
Yeah. Yep. Kids be kidding.
Hmm.
But yeah, man. So that was my weekend sort of deal. Other than that, man, just work and whatnot. Coming up on my final week in my school. So that's awesome. Getting ready to be off for I think like 3 weeks for the summer. So super, super pumped about that, man. I'm taking a whole week off of work too, and they're just gonna
Nice.
absolutely do nothing. Chill. Yeah. Very exciting. How was your
Awesome,
week,
man.
man?
It was good. I had a weird drill weekend to where we had it Friday, Saturday. Um, but Sunday, Father's Day, um, wife surprised me. Usually I'm the one who always drives the family, but she decided, no, just get in the car, and she started driving me. And we went all the way down to Rogers, Arkansas, and she surprised me with Top Golf and PF Chang's. I've never been to
Oh,
either of them,
nice.
so it was a great time. Love PF Chang's now. That was
Cool.
great. Hanging out in I
How
don't know
was
what part of
Top Golf?
it was fun. I would prefer not to bring the kids next time, but it was fun. because I think I
Yeah.
got to go 3 times, just for how long it took for us to get the kids to, because you are allowed 4 swings, for 4 ball hits on your turn. And I think for each kid, it took like 15 to 20 minutes to get it to register that they hit the ball. Um, and it didn't matter how
Uh,
much we tried to coach them, they would have issues. So it was just a lot of frustration. But yeah, I think I got to go like three or
yeah.
four times, but it was fun. I would like to go with just me and Danny sometime. Uh, cool
That would be cool.
atmosphere. You can even set up towards like a game. We had it set up like Sonic, so that was fun.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
But there
Some
are a lot
kids
of
like
people
that.
there who
I didn't
take
mean
it
to cut
super
you off.
serious. What's that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a
I
lot of
was,
people who bring their own clubs. I think there's a lot of a delay, but yeah, there's a lot of people who like bring
yeah.
their own clubs. They'll wear their own golf gloves and stuff, and they're sitting there.
Oh,
It's pretty
wow.
quiet. People are talking, then all of a sudden you hear, and it's people just going all out trying to just hit some new high score and just impress everybody. But then there's me who shanks it every third try. Uh, so I mean, it's a fun
Is
time.
it like kind of like a jockey environment with that? Like, so are they just trying to shoot it as far as possible? Is that the goal of the game? Or,
Um, ish. So you get points based off how far, but also there's like certain things you got to hit, and they're worth more points. Stuff like that. So that'll get you more scores. Like there's one that's only like I think like 30 meters away. Another that's 90. There's some way far down there. Um, and I try to hit those, but I realized I'm not good at golf, and every time I try to muscle it is when I would shank it. It's like, you know what? I'd rather just not embarrass myself.
oh
So I
shit.
just like just very lightly, just controlled, and it's like, all right, I got about 190 meters on that or feet, whatever it is. I'm good with that. I'm winning. I'm beating my family. That's all that matters. I'm winning in my cubicle.
Yeah,
This is my fucking day.
that's funny. Yeah. He just turn around, scared. So,
Beat that, Annie.
yeah. Take her just club, just snap it over your knee.
Yeah, it was a good time. Rogers was actually a cool place. Like their strip mall area. There's some store there called Petland, which I thought was just like maybe some puppies. No, we go in. There's like a whole like cage where you can actually just pick up. There's rabbits, ferrets, hamsters,
Oh wow.
gerbils, even birds that you can just pick up and pet and buy them if you want. And they have puppies all up on this wall. And they have these little sections to where you can, hey, I want to play with this puppy for a little bit. Get to do that for a little bit. We did that, and it almost trapped me into almost having to buy this awesome puppy,
Oh dude, I bet.
Alaskan Key
Yeah.
How or whatever. It almost looks like a miniature, somewhere between like a corgi or a husky. Like it was a husky colors, but it was
Huh.
almost they don't grow that tall. Very calm. Kids loved it, but I had to. We don't need another dog, so had to break everyone's heart. It's like, all right, it's time. Put him up.
Yeah. Hey, Dad.
Yeah, they were talking about
Funny.
that puppy the whole way home. So
Oh man, I bet. How many dogs do you have now?
I just have the two. But even that's too much. We have a cat. Then we have
Hmm.
4 chickens, 2 ducks, and then a bunch of younger chickens and ducks. So about 20 birds, I think, all in total. We have
That's
enough
crazy.
pets. We don't need more.
Yeah, I'm good with pretty content with mine. I mean, I do want the chickens. I think that'd be cool. Ducks will be pretty sweet too, but we'll get there someday.
Yeah, should. They're fun. I love the
Um,
chickens.
yeah, yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to those days, man. I think that'll be awesome. And the eggs. I think the eggs are kind of like steadying back out price wise, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've noticed that, but we haven't had to buy eggs for a couple months now because we're at a point where we're getting a little bit of excess with just the 4 chickens.
oh wow, So I've heard that like they taste different. Do you notice the difference in the taste?
Not really. I don't know. I haven't really eaten store-bought eggs for a while. I don't know. I feel like it's, I don't know, more egg flavorful, I guess you could say. That's about the only thing I can really think of. But I like to have my eggs when I scramble
More
it
eggy,
slightly
huh?
under cookie. Like it to have a little bit of a wet texture. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I like a little bit of that. But I feel like it has
A little
I
bit of
feel like
slurp.
yeah, it's just but I don't know. I don't want dry eggs. I want a little bit of wetness in it. But
You want the risk of salmonella. That's what
I
you're
do.
doing.
I do.
You're
But I
just
mean,
trying to acclimate your gut. You're trying to increase your gut biome, is what you're doing.
exactly. I'm just
I definitely get it.
you gotta be more in tune with nature. You gotta have a little bit of the raw. But I
Living on the
mean,
edge.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, actually, I kind of do like them, but I don't know. I wouldn't say there's really that noticeable of a difference. Um, I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's people like, you don't taste the antibiotics. They pump the chickens full. I don't care about that. I mean, I got free eggs now, so
Virus free or vaccine free. Sorry.
yeah, I'm
Or
not too
I guess
worried
both,
about
maybe.
that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I was gonna say something else. Oh, have you cracked one and you're like, oh, we got to it too late. And like it's just like a tiny little
No, because we don't have any
bird
roosters
forming.
yet. I have been worried with the ducks
Oh,
because
okay.
I know the ducks have been going at it for a while. So I always worry, but we haven't really eaten a duck egg for a while because the ducks will hide their eggs, and I don't know where she keeps hiding them because also she'll disappear for days and then come back for like a couple hours. I think just for a good humping session, then go
Oh,
back
wow.
to where she's going.
Huh. Interesting. So
I'm
you
almost
like don't
wondering if
even
one
see
day
her?
I'll come
So
back and
just like,
she'll have like a bunch of ducklings following her. That's what I'm thinking is probably happening.
hmm, I didn't know they do that. So she just come back hook up with the dude.
Yeah, because Journey, the Drake, the male duck, he just hangs out the house and being an asshole to all the other birds. And then when she gets back, he's all excited. He'll follow her around like a little bitch. But I'm pretty sure she's putting out
It's like,
for him.
get
So
it. Yeah.
can we do this, son?
Wow.
Can we?
What a little hooer. Am I right?
Hell yeah! But no, we haven't had anything like
Um,
that. We have had a rotten egg once, but that was it. Just once.
uh, huh. How do they get rotten? They just sit too long or what?
No, I think it's more, I don't know, it may be, because also something about so whenever you get the egg, you don't wash it. You leave it dirty until you're ready to open it. Because there's like some membrane that when they come out, it helps protect it and preserve it. So I'm thinking what happened is
Hmm.
maybe some of that membrane was washed off and it just sat on our counter for a while, or even if there's like maybe a little crack that would have kind of maybe put a little air in. Because I know as soon as Danny was had a cup full of eggs that she was making, and then she cracked one open and it exploded everywhere, all this brown stuff everywhere, instant reeking smell in the house.
Oh,
It was.
oh
It
no.
was gross.
Oh man, that's tough. Ugh. I guess that's just part of it though.
Yeah. Every now and then you get a bad egg.
That's cool. That's crazy, man. Like how fast you're like already gotten to where you have excess eggs. That's freaking sweet.
Hmm.
I definitely hope to get there someday.
Yeah. I recommend it. If you're on the fence about getting chickens, just do it. They're great. I love them.
Sweet.
Um, that's all I got for my week. Are you ready to talk about some new releases?
What are you guys listening to?
Weekly playlist.
Weekly
Playlist.
Weekly playlist. Weekly
Oh yeah, dude, let's do it.
All right, new releases. All right. So for this week, I kept it kind of short. Um, but I would almost guarantee me and you probably have the same top album pick. Uh, what album would you say is the
Yeah.
number one? Is your
Number
favorite
one
album?
album, um, Dissonant Seepage.
Yeah,
And this is called Immortal Until Decay. Is that the album title?
I thought it
Or
was
no?
Dystopian
No. D
Putrescence.
yeah. Yeah, sorry. Dystopian Putrescence. That was a song title. Yeah, dude, front to back, I fucking am obsessed with this album. I love this band's sound, and then it's just incredible. They're very like a low-key band too, and like I don't know how they have such little listens on Spotify, man, but it's like what the fuck? This band is absolutely crushing it, I think. Like
Hmm.
the sound, it's just he's got that real gurgly deep, it's one of the deepest death metal vocals I've heard, I think, in a long time. Um, very slammy. I told the dudes in Dejector that I feel like this album is 90% like just palm mute chuggy chugs
Hmm.
and like squeals every now and then. But they just figure out how to make it sound so different, and I think song to song, and he just gets real creative with it, dude. It's just super riffy, very chunky. Badass, dude. It's just sick tunes. I love this band. Um, what's your thoughts about this one?
I very much enjoyed this album. It was great. They found a way to it is slammy, but at the same time, I think it's almost like if you took brutal death metal, but also combined it with like groove, because this is super groove oriented. And it also makes me think of like a slam version of like Humanity's Last Breath, I think the band was called. Because it still has a lot of open space in it, but it still is just like super heavy, super groovy and awesome. I think, and you brought it up, like I love the squealies they do in the guitars. Adds a little bit more to it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
awesome, and especially loved constructing flesh into shit. That was awesome.
Yes.
Just the
Dude, that is one of my favorite tracks. That and Dead Carcass to Worship is my other one. But yeah, constructing flesh into shit. Like the other day, I was jamming this, and it was that song. I was like, damn, dude, it's got such a sick ass groove, and that's just all the way through a badass song. Um, but yeah, love the hell out of it, man. I think they just have a really great sound. It's like a great modern sound for metal. Like the
hmm
production's one of my favorite aspects of this album, I think, is how they sound so low and heavy, but so crystal clear too.
hmm
And I love that, man. Very crisp. I dig
Yes,
for sure.
it's interesting of how heavy they can be, but still have such distinct groove in this. They have a very good balance with that. So hats off
They
to
do, yeah.
Dissonant Seepage. This was your recommendation. You found this and you've been keeping up with this until this album. So this was an awesome
Hell
find.
yeah.
And this is their new album, Dystopian Putrescence. Check it out. All right. So I realized while reviewing this, we kind of skipped singles. So before
Oh
we move
yeah.
on to other albums, do you want us to talk about a couple of these singles? We didn't have many. It looks like we had three.
Yep.
Yep, just three. Kept it short. Um, so this happened. This one single I want to talk about. This is one that was kind of we talked about it last episode because it literally dropped as we were recording. And that is this new
Hmm.
Cryptopsy song, "Dead Eyes Replete." Um, I don't know what you thought about it. I thought it was okay. I think it's the weaker of the three they released. I kind of wish they just didn't
Hmm.
release this one. I don't know how you feel about this one.
I like I don't know. It sounds like a Cryptopsy song. I mean that in the best ways, but it's what they've done in the last album and these other two songs, but it's just a different variation. But I thought it was still super sick, still super badass, and then I found out that I guess the meaning behind this song is it's like written about how YouTube is stealing children's lives. And I like experienced that firsthand in my living room. So I was like, yeah, dude, I fucking dig this one. But no, it's called Dead Eyes Refleet. And I just think that's cool. You know, he can make something like that subject matter sound so fucking just gnarly and heavy, dude. This song is like relentless. It's just that fast, chaotic Cryptopsy style. But I love it, dude. It gets me pumped. I don't know that it was necessary to release another one from this album, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I love this band, man. They're one of my favorite like modern death metal bands for sure.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm
And
at.
this album's just it sound
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I was just gonna say this album sounds like it's gonna be super badass. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I do think it's a good song. I just one of those things. I kind of wish I would have heard this first when the album dropped. I feel like this just would have been a better gem to have found within the album. I kind of like what we were talking about in the previous episode. I kind of wish they would stop releasing singles already and let us just kind of wait it out and enjoy the rest of the album when it comes out. Because I feel like this would have been probably been a good gem to find. But now it's
Hmm.
one we already know we're searching for it when we get to the album. So, um,
Right. I will
just one
say there's a
second.
badass. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, my internet's going super slow. I'm gonna see if Jensen's asleep so I can turn off the TV. Sorry. Hopefully that should make my bandwidth better because I keep getting a low bandwidth signal. But yeah, Danny's
Oh
out
shit.
doing a photo shoot, so I'll let Jensen stay up and watch TV. So yeah, you were saying about the release something about releasing singles.
Oh, it was so this song Dead Eyes Replete. So like I was gonna say there's a badass part in this where he's doing his like high screams that we've heard, but then he like ch switches it up and like goes even higher like after like a it's like a run of lines after it and it's just it's so cool how he like transitions to it, man. Like his I don't know, his transitions are some of my favorites. Like I've already heard it. Like he literally opens this song how he opens what was that from the last album? That badass one.
In advance?
Huh?
In advance?
Oh yeah, yeah, in abeyance. That's right. Yeah, that one. But he starts it the same, and it's just like, "That was our one." And so it's just like it's basically the same start, but it's I don't know. There's something about it where I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm totally on board every time it happens. It's like, fuck yeah, man! Like just keep doing it over and over. I really don't care. I think it's badass every time. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know. I'm super pumped for that album. I don't know
Hell
when it
yeah.
drops. I feel like
Um,
I'm terrible on drop dates anymore.
I want to say it drops next week. Not this week, but next week, I want to say, because I want to say it comes out the same time as Shadow of Intent. Last time we recorded, it said 16 days.
Oh, okay. Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, that's the new single, Dead Eyes Replete by Cryptopsy for their upcoming album. Um, is it Insatiable Violence? What's it called again?
Yep. An insatiable violence.
Hell yeah. Check it out. Um, we also have another new song from Heaven Shall Burn. I think this is the fourth single from their upcoming album, Heimat. But
Hmm.
actually, I kind of like this one better than the past couple singles they've been releasing. Um, felt groovier, better riffing, and a little bit heavier. Although I don't know how I feel about Jesse Leach's clean singing on this. But all in all, I thought this new song by Heaven Shall Burn called Numbered Days. I enjoyed this one. So I'd say this is probably my second favorite single from their upcoming album. What did you think of this song? Did you check this one out?
Yeah, I actually listened to this one. I don't think that I listened to the other ones. It's definitely heavy, and they got that Heaven Shall Burn just I don't know, signature sound to him. You know, his vocals are very kind of unique to that band, and you can just tell it's them when it comes on. But like it was heavy and everything. I don't know. I wasn't really kind of feeling the song itself. So
I
I don't
gotcha.
know.
Understandable. It
But
was
yeah.
it was about a 50-50, kind of like a lot of softness, but also, like I said, the Heaven Shall Burn heaviness. So it's a weird. I don't know how I feel about Jesse Leach being on this song.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I've just never really been on Team Jesse Leach. And I just haven't really listened to a majority of his era of Killswitch. Um, but with that being said, I think it's cool how they like bring back that nostalgia of that early 2000s era whenever this band, really got big. They
Hmm.
still managed to bring that kind of metalcore sound that they have, but like kind of modernized, which is pretty sweet. So I don't know. I thought that was cool, but
Yeah. I would say though, maybe it would be better if Howard Jones was on it instead of Jesse Leach.
yeah, yeah, probably. I think I would
Yeah.
probably like that more.
Um, we do have one other single. I don't even think I listened to it all the way through because I was kind of done with it. Did you check out the new song by Between the Buried and Me? The things we tell ourselves in the
Yeah,
dark.
in the dark. Yeah, I heard this and I got like 4 or 5 minutes into it. I was like, holy shit, man, this is still going and still all over the place. And like this band's doing so much shit. I was like, who is this? And then it was like the later half of the song. I was like, oh, the screams are coming to me now. And I connected the band to be Between the Buried and Me. So like I've never really listened to this band, like especially on the regular, any other albums. I don't know, man. They like I liked Alaska, but I want to say like that's the last thing I really actually listened to theirs, like all the way through. But um, I was just never a crazy fan, and I know that they have a huge following, but um, I listened to a majority of the song, and I liked it because I kind of got Devin Townsend vibes, that kind of progginess, and then because that's who I didn't know who the band was when the song first started, so I was like, man, this kind of sounds like Devin Townsend-ish, but it's not him. But then I was just like, oh shit, like they've totally toured together. Like they did a pretty big tour together back in the day, so it's like it kind of makes sense. But anyways, I thought it was cool. Like there's tons of talent in here, but I just think it's like so much shit. I was just like, what the hell, man? This band's
Yeah.
doing a lot, man. It was crazy. But I think, if you're a fan of this band, you'll probably like this one. It's very like proggy. Sounds like the stuff Between the Buried and Me does. I don't know. I wasn't really crazy about it personally, but
Yeah. I think I got about 4 minutes into it and I was like, all right, I'm done. Because I used to really like this band. But I don't know. I feel like they have too much stuff, and also their songs are always too long, and they throw too much stuff into each song. So for me, it's hard to stick with it. There's just
mm,
so much you have to buy into this whole journey that they're about to take you on, and I feel like the best journeys they've done so far, I don't think they're going to top. So I don't think I really want to spend that much time listening to 8 minutes trying to understand what everything's going on. So when it comes to Tweet and Bury Me, I think I'll probably just stick with their old stuff. Um, I don't know. I feel happier that way. I don't have to sit here and listen to this 8 minute song and it gets good about halfway through. I'm good.
yeah,
I'll just go back to their old stuff that I know.
fair enough.
Yeah. Um, That's it for the singles. We do have two other albums. Is there any of these other albums that you enjoyed? Because we got one by Fallujah and one by King 810. Which one would you also like to talk about, if any of them?
I listened to King 810. I was really looking forward to this album. I didn't really care for it too much. I don't know, man. It was just, yeah, I don't know. I moved on. But I listened to Fallujah and I like Fallujah. I think those guys are just total masters of that like kind of soundscape, dreamscape sort of vibe. I think it's really cool, man, how they do that. And they got some badass riffage in this album. I mean, as always, but they still like chunk it up really cool and everything. I want to say Labyrinth of Stone was my favorite off of this album. But yeah, man, I thought it was cool. What'd you think of it?
I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. This is probably the one I listened to the least. But I didn't mind it. What I was hearing. It's just one of the things I kind of have a hard time with when it comes to Fallujah from time to time is staying with it because sometimes it feels how dreamscape the sounds come across. Sometimes I get like a synthetic. Luna, quit. I feel almost like it's a like robots are singing to me or playing the instruments sometimes. So I always get a weird vibe from time to time. But I will say it is very well done. Some probably I'm gonna have to listen to a little bit more because I did like how the album kind of started off with the "In Stars We Dream." But I don't know. For me, it's also a huge vibe change for all the other music that was on the playlist because you had Dissonant
Yeah.
Seepage and King A10. So it was just a weird vibe change for me. So I didn't really listen to this one too much.
Yeah, all very different vibes on
Hmm.
albums. It's hard to go from one to the other, honestly. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was cool. And that is the new Fallujah album, Xenotaph.
Hell yeah.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Hmm. I
Daniel?
think so. You did
Nice.
talk about King 810. I did listen to this a couple times, not all the way through, because I don't know. I feel like I'm getting to this album in sections. Because it feels weird every time I hear a new song on it. It feels weird at first, and then I kind of get into it a little bit more. I still love the opening track, Rust Belt New Metal, because not necessarily what he's talking about. Like it's cool a little bit. It's just the vibe, the aggressive vibe is back. Noonday Demon,
Hmm.
I kind of like the cool riffage. Blue Collar Noose was all right. Headshot had some cool stuff. Rain Dance was a little weird, and I'm almost at the point where with this in this album where it's almost like I feel like you guys are getting a little too much into politics, which I like I do like politics and metal. But I don't feel like King 810 is really the band I want to hear talking about politics. Because usually this is the band I want to hear about from like death in the streets, like gangster stuff, and because that's or like prison life, how violent his neighborhood is, like stuff like that. I find it interesting. A whole album where he's mostly talking about like political and social stuff. It's like I don't know, but at the same time, I do like them coming back to the heaviness part. Like
Hmm.
Headshot, I want to say starts off almost like a it starts with a bass that reminds me a lot of like Korn's Daddy, how it starts off with that bass
Yeah,
part. Um, but
I think
Rules of the
that's cool.
Game, I can't listen to at all because it's that repetitiveness just drives me nuts where this is the rules of the game. These are the rules of the game, which makes me think of that First Blood album Rules, which I love First Blood, and I get the vibe they were trying to do, but I don't want to listen to a whole fucking album where the word rules is almost every four words. Where after a while, it's like rules is such a weird word. Like whenever you just hear the word
You
said
just like
so
start
often,
isolating the words.
yeah, it's like it becomes your whole thing. So I didn't
Well,
mind
and
it too
it's
much, but
yeah, to add to your bitching on it, I kind of what I fell in love with this band was honestly like kind of the vocals. I mean, the music too, but David Gunn I thought was an just awesome vocalist, especially on the first album. But like this one, it's almost like he's kind of losing me. I'm kind of liking the music more on this album, and I could really do a lot less vocal. I feel like he is just all over it all,
mhm,
and I kind of want those breaks in the separations that you had on the first album, like with the identifiable, choruses, verses, and shit. Like he's still doing that, but I just feel like it's so much. I don't know.
mhm,
That's just
yeah,
me being bitchy about it. Like I definitely dug that they're going back to the aggressive vibes. That's cool and stuff too, but I don't know. I didn't really take it as political as much as it's almost just like that Rage Against the Machine type vibes. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Just like the
yeah,
anti-politic almost sort of deal. Because I definitely don't see that dude taking any side any day. You know what I mean? He
yeah.
almost just seems like a fuck 'em all type dude.
And that is the thing, because I did notice, like, listening to Rain Dance, like, I was trying to understand, it's like, so which side are you kind of, I don't know which angle you're going from. And also, I want to say it was Rain Dance, the last phrase of it, I was trying to understand, like, so what are you trying to say? I didn't know which side he was taking on it, because he said something about, uh, someone hiding in the shadows trying to figure out, what was Hitler's mistake or something like that, like, or the mistakes that Hitler made or something like that. It's like, are you trying to?
Hmm.
I was trying to figure out what he meant by that. Is like, are you saying there's someone who's going to be more evil than Hitler who's trying to figure out how to the mistakes that he made and is overthrow us, or are you trying to say like the other way
Hmm.
is like, yeah, you need to figure out what he did wrong so you can do better, kind of thing. Like, which I don't really understand which side he's on that. So I'm
Hmm.
assuming the first, but I don't know. But I mean, either way, I do think I do like the aggressiveness addition on here, but I do think this album would benefit more if he had some guest vocalists who had like some
That would
uh
have been tight.
better range, like a deep growl, or like I think Dickie Allen would have been a great addition for a feature on this album somewhere. Or
That'd be interesting. Hell, dude, I liked whenever he had like the rapper. Like he did the track with the rapper. I think it was on the
oh yeah.
Midwest Monsters EP or something like that. Or he might have done like a whole that might have been like the whole compilation thing. I don't even know what that album was, if it was, but I remember like him doing some songs with rappers. But I think he sounds great. Like they did a version of Vendetta with a rapper
Hmm.
that was super sick, dude. And like he fit
Yeah.
right in, man. I love
Yeah, I
that
think that
song.
was with Trick Trick, because I think he also did the song Wartime with him.
Oh yeah, yeah, that song's badass too.
Hmm. Yeah, I think he does need to kind of pick a lane better, because I do like the rapper style he had back in the early days. I think he could pull off this metal thing, but I think he needs to expand his range, or at least do some deeper growls to at least, because it's trying to have your foot in both camps isn't really seem to be working too well, at least in my
Mm,
opinion. But yeah, that's this new album, King 810, Rust Belt New Metal. Check it out.
show.
Um, do you have anything else to add? Did you ever check out
New
the Carter Six?
Oh no, I didn't, man.
Uh,
Damn. I slept on it.
I gotcha.
And I realized tonight that I also missed that new Clockwork album too. So I got some catching up to do.
I gotcha. I
I'll
do
add that
have
to my
a
homework for next week.
I do have another album. I found out about I think yesterday, the day before. I finally listened to it today. Um, I'll let you experience this on the thing. You don't have to listen to it yet, but I want
Okay.
you to see this album cover. This has become
Okay.
kind of a meme. This dropped Friday. Look up the band Draugveil, Draugveil, with its new album, Cruel World of Dreams and Fears.
Yes, I have. I have seen this. I've seen some memes of this. I was wondering where this came from.
I
I
listened
seen
to
one.
this today.
I seen one that says like it's Vargy Varg or something like that, and Varg's like behind him holding him or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous. What is this? Is this black metal or
It's it's black metal. I've seen some people label it romantic black metal. Listening to it, it sounds more almost like you combine like old school black metal, but with like gothic rock from time to time. Like if you added a little bit of The Cure or NXXS, or INXS, I don't know how you say that band's name, but there's a little bit of like
NXS?
weird like pop rocky stuff every now and then. Not it's still like black metal, but every now and then there's like a more normal beat and like a croony 80s like gothic singing like it's
Huh.
and if you could tell by the album cover, which if those of you who are listening and not watching, imagine a grainy 80s Polaroid picture, but it is upon closer inspection, it's obviously also cropped together or photoshopped together. This kid wearing a full knight's armor, except the helmet, with a sword next to him. He has long blonde hair, corpse paint on, and it looks like he's like laying down, and then he took that picture and then put it on top of another picture of a rose bed because you can tell the roses are not conforming around him. He is just photoshopped on top of this, and that is his album cover. Um, and this album cover might look like this guy made this album in his bedroom, and you'll listen to this album, and then you realize, yes, this guy made this album in his bedroom. Um,
Is this something that it looks like it could almost be trendy? Like I feel like this dude's gonna get listens just because of the album cover.
I think he did, Will, because I've seen some people say like this is splitting the black metal community and have people are like loving this, some people are hating this.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's okay. It's nothing super special. And I can kind of see either way. And to my opinion, it's just another odd black metal project some kid's doing. Which I'm fine with it either way. Um, I don't know. It's black metal. It's not supposed. I think you should push the boundaries a little bit when it comes to black metal, even if it is against the people who are huge black metal fans. So I'm fine with it. But I understand the memes when it comes to this because just look at this album cover.
He's kind of donning like the Ace Frehley. I don't even know if you call that corpse paint or stage makeup. He's kind of leaving like the corpse paint um, kind of side, and it's almost more of like stage makeup. This is very Kiss like.
Yeah, because
It's
if
like
you
kind of
just took
more.
that black and turned it silver, it'd be just like Ace Frehley.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, without the black lipstick, I guess the black lipstick is really hitting the black metal home. But the blonde hair, man, that's another. It's like wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, check out Draugveil's new album, Cruel World of Dreams and Fears. You will not be
Nice.
disappointed. Maybe you will. We'll see. Just enjoy the ride.
I'm gonna have to listen to that one.
But yeah, that's all I have for new music. Do you have any other new music you want to talk about?
Um, I don't think so, man. I think we're pretty well. I'm caught up on my end of what I've been jamming.
I gotcha. So you ready to move on to some metal news?
I am, dude.
Metal news.
All right. Metal news. All right. I have a couple of tour announcements I saw today. First
Okie
one,
doke.
first one, I might as well bring up because we already talked about this band on the new releases. Um, the band Entheos has announced a new tour,
I've
with
seen that.
opening acts The Zenith Passage, Fallujah, and Tracheotomy.
Hell yeah, that'd be a show, dude. That'd be
hmm
super sick.
They are coming near here November 16th at the Bottleneck in Lawrence.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
mark your
I think that'd be.
calendars.
I think that'd be super sick, dude.
hmm
I'm gonna have to go to that one.
Very,
That
very
would be super
techy.
fun.
Did
Yeah,
we
dude. That's like
ever have we ever reviewed Tracheotomy? I'm trying to remember what they sound like. I feel like we have, but I can't remember.
I don't know all the Octomies bands. They're
hmm
just in a big pile for me.
The ectomies and otomies, and
Yeah.
they all kind of run together.
Hmm.
Um, I do have another tour. This one is coming to multiple places. One of them right in my backyard in Springfield over here. And that is this tour is called the Ascend Above the Ashes Tour. It is Trivium with Ginger and Heriot, who we reviewed their album last year. And I remember it being pretty good. The UK metalcore kids. Uh,
Oh, okay.
coming through here. They're coming through a couple places. They're coming to Oklahoma City, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Springfield, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri.
Damn.
So yeah, lots of options. More likely, I'm going to go to Springfield, obviously, but December 9th, Springfield, Missouri.
Okay. That'd be sick. Something to do in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotta stay warm. I just wonder
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
where it's at in Springfield. If it'd be at the Regency, oh, that'd be a packed show because that's a very, very tight venue.
Yeah. Trivium, man. Yeah, I'd say it's got to be pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool to see them in a smaller place, though.
Yeah, because wasn't that Bullet for My Valentine tour they on? Wasn't that like arenas or some
Yeah, it
like
was
big venues, wasn't
pretty large venues. Yeah. And so I'm guessing they're filling up this time from what that tour would have been overseas.
it? Yeah. Which I would think that because when I saw that, I thought it was going to be an overseas tour, but surely enough, it's North America, Springfield, Missouri.
Oh yeah. That's awesome, dude. Paying some Midwest love.
Yeah, that's all
Sweet.
I got for news. Do you have any other metal news you want to share?
Yeah, Archspire finished wrapping their recording or the drum tracking for the newest album, and they
Okay.
managed to write. They didn't say. I don't think they said it was 420 beats per minute, but they broke their record of the fastest song again. So I don't know how.
I haven't seen some news about Archspire. Has there been like a controversy on like a Kickstart thing that they did or something?
Yeah, so their like whole campaign right now is we're no longer going to be a band unless you support our Kickstarter or something like that. Like I want to say I was literally on a post that they made. But yeah, they're like totally independent now, so they're free of any labels and shit, and I guess they're just trying to um yeah, I don't know, become the next big Tech Nine or something.
That would
So
make sense because then I remember seeing something to where I guess the singer, I think it's Ollie, before his audition, he asked what he should do to prepare, and they gave him a couple of Tech Nine CDs and said, "We want you to sound like this, but screaming."
yeah, well, I think he's like a huge fan, and he like still tags him in their shit to this day, but I don't know that Tech Nine's responded yet. I'm not sure. But dude, that would be such a sick collab. Like I would love to hear Tech Nine on an Archspire song. I think it's got to happen someday. I think they just need to break into Tech Nine's world. I don't know how he's kind of missed him because I feel like he's already kind of hit some metal. He's done a song with Alex Terrible, so
Yeah. Yeah, so surely he should at least know about Archspire and their whole
I would
connection to
think.
him.
Yeah, I would think, man. I mean, speed's his thing, speed's their thing, so but I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to hear new Archspire. I think that's just crazy. It's crazy that they're just legit going faster.
Any other metal news?
I don't think so, man. I think it's been pretty quiet. Let me
I
Google in
gotcha.
case I've missed anything.
I gotcha. Well, I was gonna have what you brought up kind of tie into our discussion for today because I was thinking about the past
Oh,
couple
okay.
episodes. Because we've been getting a lot of people commenting on that one TikTok that we had that kind of got a little bit big. Um, and that was I wanted because people are arguing back and forth on what is the heaviest band, and I've been seeing a lot of different things.
Uh,
Someone said that some band called Orphans new EP is the heaviest thing they've ever heard, and then someone was like, "Yeah, I was gonna say that or Fragmented. I don't know what these guys are talking about. Yeah, that album's awesome." So I checked out both bands, and it just sounds like slightly heavier Spite. Um,
hmm,
Someone said Admiral Angry is the heaviest thing they've ever listened to. So I went and checked that out, and it just kind of sounds like Full of Hell. Um,
hmm,
Someone said Origin, which I love Origin, but they're not the heaviest. And then back to the guy saying Disembodied Tyrant, saying like how fast and crazy they are. Is like, well, that's fast. That's not necessarily the heaviest. Because we were talking about
hmm.
Primitive Man and Larcenia Row.
Right.
Um, so that brings me into my question of
It's
what what do you consider, what are your metrics for a band being the heaviest, or what would you describe as the elements of making a band heavy or heavier than other bands?
basically, I want it to sound like elephants are playing the instruments. So more or less, I want it to sound like Meshuggah. Meshuggah is the heaviest band. End of argument.
I gotcha. I don't know. My opinion is it has to have like someone said, the person responding to the disembodied tyrant guy. I kind of agree with this guy a little bit, but I wanted to add onto it, and it's how much the sound sounds like it has weight to it. And I think it's more of a it's the weight, but also the suffocation of it. Like if something on top of you is heavy and is crushing you. So, like for example, the two most heavy things I think of when I think of the heaviest, I think of either Primitive Man or I think of Devourment on Obscene Majesty. Both are different types of
Yeah.
heavy, and I think like with Devourment and that album, I think it feels like a giant freight train carrying coal is running over you for 30 minutes. Like it's just
hmm
all this weight and its constant fastness, just bam, 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 bam. Um, not sexual, but like just a train running on top of you. Um, that didn't help that phrasing, uh, but Primitive Man is more of a sound to where it feels like you have cement shoes and you're being sunk in the water more and more into the deep ocean, and
Mm,
it's just crushing you that more. When it comes to heaviness,
yeah.
that's what I think of, and that's why I think those two are the heaviest. Just my
I
opinion.
think I think Larcinia Rose still in that running for that title for me just because they bring that suffocation factor to me. There's something that makes me feel very claustrophobic whenever I listen to them. And
Hmm.
it's just like I feel like I don't know. Yeah, it's like the literal sound of the weight to it, I think. And then but he hits low vocals, but his highs are more kind of excruciating,
Hmm.
like and just I don't know, hair raising than the lows are in that band. But it just adds to the swampiness of it, if that makes
Hmm.
sense at all. But I don't know, man. It's yeah, how do you define heavy, really? I mean, it's almost kind of impossible at this point with all these bands, but they all kind of have their own lanes too, so I guess it's a conversation to be had, but it's
Yeah.
definitely gonna have tons of opinions out there
Yeah.
that differ.
Either way, though, I think no matter what, Larcinia Row is way heavier than Orphan or Fragmented. Uh, and I don't even think that's an opinion. I think if you listen to them, you can like, oh yeah, like because Larcinia Row is deep and it's heavy, it's chaotic, and like you said, it is suffocating, and I think it adds more to it without the grimy feel to it. Like it makes me think of it as an I don't know if you ever seen the movie Rob Zombie's 31. It makes me think of like
Mm,
a deathcore version of it,
maybe.
like a auditory version. Like 31 was
Yeah.
where it was like Halloween night, they kidnapped the people, and the rich people bet on how long each of them's gonna live, and they have like
I
these
don't know.
killers come try to kill them.
I don't know if I have seen that one.
It's
Definitely seen his other ones, but
it makes me think of that. Also, I don't know if you ever listened to the it's the cranium and analepsy split, craniolepsy, they called it.
maybe.
It had a bunch of like samples from that movie.
Oh,
The
okay.
most prominent one was I'm not crazy, I'm in control, just said over and over again. Uh
Huh.
it's a very that how that movie makes me feel is how Larcinia Row makes me feel listening to them. Very just dingy. It's like, man, I'm so deep in this dirtiness. Where's the sky? Where's the air to
Yeah,
breathe from?
right. Yeah, that band like closes that light at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm.
It's weird,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
you're deep in it. Where there's
yeah,
no more normal, you're just deep in that mud.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's also people who think like black metal's the heaviest. I mean, I would say they're extreme, but I wouldn't say they're the heaviest. And same with
I
like
mean,
tech stuff.
yeah, shit, Five Finger Death Punch is someone's heaviest out there.
Yeah, someone out there it does think that's the heaviest. But
So,
I also think tech I I do love tech and I do think it can be pretty heavy. But I feel like when it gets too technical, I feel like it can take away from the heaviest because when you have that precision, I feel like that takes away from the raw primitiveness. I don't know your thoughts because I know
yeah.
you like tech death.
I like tech death, but when it blends with the tech death metal is where honestly the bands kind of lose me. Like bands like I like these bands, but I'm not crazy on Origin. And I feel like they are very technical, but they're also very death metal. And I almost more prefer a straight line tech death that's more just kind of very precise, um, very crisp and clear, like the Zenith Passage. Like I like my
Hmm.
tech very clean. I don't like a
Hmm.
lot of bells and whistles. I mean, literal like cymbals, and just crazy blasts and shit. It just kind of gets almost too muddy for me, but I don't know, you know, to each his own. That's just my thoughts, I love bands like Surreption. Like it's just that fine tooth comb type tech, you know what I mean? If that makes
Hmm.
sense. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think it is hard to say that tech's the heaviest because I think tech is more of a I don't know they're trying to be the heaviest as much as they are just trying to write technical riffage,
Yeah.
that does get heavy at moments, but not necessarily need to be the heaviest thing. Whereas
Yeah.
it sounds like bands like Devourment or Larcenia Row, their goal is to write the heaviest thing.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Because I would say tech is more, they're trying to, instead of going for the heaviest, they're trying to get the most musically proficient. Like they're trying to be better at their instruments and trying to show more complication, push actual musically, like technicality and stuff like that, and expertise. To where the heaviest bands, like, that's absolutely not what they're trying to do. They're trying to, instead of creasing their brain space, it's you got to have like almost like single level brain cell to just it has to be that for it to be the heaviest in my opinion. Like that's where these like caveman slams come from. What's that? Cerebral incubation is the purest form of like caveman slam, just ooga booga, just go crazy heaviness.
yeah.
I also think Dragged into Sunlight is another good example, just that very
Mm,
primitive caveman kind of style, like vibe to it. That
sure. Yeah.
like there's that, but I'm not saying one's better than the other, but if I want heaviest, I will go to that. But if I want like cool, like uh great writing, guitar writing, great songwriting, I'll go to Tech Death.
Mm,
It's not that one's better than the other, but it just depends on what metric you're trying to measure the band by. Because like Archspire is going for the fastest. They're not going for the heaviest, they're going for the fastest. Devourment's not going for the fastest, they're going for the heaviest. One's not better than the other. It's just that they're going different roads and they're just under the metal or death metal umbrella. It's
yeah.
not that kind of a competition.
Yeah. 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 I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's just crazy. There's literally a whole world of sound out there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
many different vibes.
So, um, you ready to is there anything else you want to talk about or you want to move on to our classic album review?
Yeah. No, let's do it, man.
All right.
Ready for it.
So this week we are doing that new a new segment where we are reviewing just one single classic album. And I'm thinking of like just giving it a score at the end, but more of a deep dive. And this week we are doing for the very first one, we're doing 1995's At the Gates' classic album, Slaughter of the Soul. Um, what was your thoughts on this album?
Yeah. That's crazy this album came out that year. I would not have guessed it. This
Mm-hmm.
sounds very 2000s to me,
Yeah.
very early 2000s. Um, so I think, with that being said, this band sounds like they were way ahead of their time. I wasn't hip on this album when it dropped. I think, I wasn't really that deep into my music, but it's heavy, man, for its time, dude. Like it's got some badass riffage. Super fun band, super fun listen. This really, I connected a lot of, or heard a lot of connections tied to like in bands like In Flames or even like Heaven Shall Burn. I don't know if this band's an influence of theirs, but I feel like the vocal style sounds pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's that very kind of dragged out scream, like exhausted scream, but it's still kind of very crisp, good sound to it. Quality wise, it's a really good scream, kind of one lane. Doesn't stray too far from it, but I think for what these guys are doing, it meshes really well. But yeah, man, this album, it's a solid one, dude. And this was honestly my first ever listen to it, like just complete all the way through. I've heard this band for a long time. I kind of missed them. I feel like never really delved into their discography or anything. So yeah, this was my first time ever listening to it, and I enjoyed it. Um, yeah, I didn't realize it was that old, man. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 30
Um,
years.
yeah, crazy. I feel like that song "Slaughter of the Soul." Once you hear it, man, it's almost like it's been in your brain forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Black Dahlia on the riffage. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it gives me super Black Dahlia vibes for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like they should have covered one of their songs. I feel like Black Dahlia should have covered this song, "Slaughter of the Soul," man. Like that would have been
Mm-hmm.
so badass. But with their style. But yeah, man. Anyways, it's an awesome album, dude. What's your thoughts on this one? When did you listen to it and stuff?
I got
When
into
did you hear
this
it for the first
album.
time?
I got into this album during the pandemic, just because obviously we all had a lot of time on our hands. That's when I got into Origin. That's when I got into this album as well. And I always heard of this band. I always heard of this band as like a giant influence on Black Dahlia Murder, like you brought up. In fact, I heard a lot of people saying that Black Dahlia Murder was just a rip off of this band, which I do. There is a lot of similarities, but I feel like Black Dahlia Murder has kind of made it more of their identity than anything else because At the Gates has kind of been hit and miss with releasing albums. They didn't really stick with it because I don't think they saw the same uh uh popularity and rise as Black Dahlia Murder went off. And also I think Black Dahlia Murder really hit a niche with combining this sound with very like horror themes to where I feel like this is not really hitting the same themes. Like the songs aren't the same like subject matter. And
Hmm.
also I know that this band is typically cited for the huge boom in the early 2000s metalcore, like a lot of that 578 style guitar riffs, like influencing bands like Avenged Sevenfold, 18 Visions, Atreyu, bands like that,
Oh, okay.
kind of really directly influenced by this album specifically. So I really wanted to check it out, and it is good. I do. There's a lot of songs on here that are great. Yeah, blind opens up with "Blinded by Fear" with that weird like weird sounds, then eventually kicks in the riff. The title track, Slaughter of the Soul, awesome. I really enjoy Cold and also
Oh
Under a
yeah.
Serpent Sun. Uh, awesome songs.
Hmm.
Suicide Nation is also an awesome one. Starts off with that gun being cocked. Like,
Yeah,
oh
that
yeah,
was super.
this is awesome.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Awesome album. I could do without some of the instrumentals. I want to say Into the Dead Sky is one, and it's like, I feel like it kind of slows the album down. It's the same with the last track, The Flame at the End, which again, I think it's because it's 1995. This is the only time in this album where it gives you the vibe like, oh yeah, this came out 30 years ago, because it has very much of a Age of Empires main menu feel. Um,
Yeah.
but the rest of the album is very good. It's solid melodic death metal, and I know this band is kind of the big three when it comes to like the Gothenburg sound of melodic death metal. So bands like In Flames and Dark
Mm,
Tranquility. And I feel like this album and this band is a good in between of those bands at that time, because I feel like at this time it would have been what, right before Horacle for In Flames, and Dark
yeah.
Tranquility I know is more melodic. So this is the perfect in between of like the heavy and the melodic, to where it hits just right. And also you brought up, this doesn't sound 30 years old. Very crisp, clean production, very well
Yeah.
written. Um, so for that, out of 10, I'm probably going to give this one an 8.3.
Okay. I would give this one a pretty close, 8.6, I'd say.
All right. So this gives it a 16.9. So yeah, very good album. Recommend
Yeah.
it to everyone. Um, but yeah, this is this has been our first classic album review. One of many things that we'll implement. Just kind of more tools in the tool bag, because I was gonna next week we have another section where you can choose what we get to do. You do want to do a Discog rating? Do you want to do a classic album review? Do you want to do a genre deep dive? Or do you want to do like a big four of a genre,
Hmm.
subgenre?
Hmm.
I'm
Ooh,
trying to expand things out. Let's
choices. Okay. Okie doke. Well, I know you're wanting to expand, but I thought of a great band that I don't think we've done yet. Thanks to Josh for uh showing me a song today that just kind of reminded me of this band. I feel like I go in and out of this band throughout the years, but ultimately I always come back loving them super much. They were huge in my early years of metal. So I'll leave this to you to decide to discog rank or a one album rank. If you
all
choose
right.
the one album rank, I want to pick the album,
Okay.
but I'll let you know the band. Static X.
Ooh. Ooh. So are we only doing Static X, or are we doing Static X and Cult of Static, or Cult of Wayne? What was it? What was his other thing called?
Yeah, Colts. Yeah, no, forget all that bullshit. We'll just do Static X.
I'm very familiar with Up Until Cannibal. So what was all after that?
Um, I mean, there's a couple new ones. Oh, so Cult of Static was actually an album. But I think he ran solo in his later years as just Wayne Static, I think. But so we got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, including the most recent two that have came out in the last 5 years when they relaunched the band.
So I want to say, isn't Beneath Between Beyond like a compilation?
That Yeah, that one's just a compilation.
Okay.
So
Yeah, let's
excluding that one and then Cannibal Killers Live, it's just a total of eight.
You know what? Let's do the full discog, because I did. This is a band that has very nostalgic for me.
Oh,
Uh,
dude, yeah.
there's a lot of albums in this in their discog that's very nostalgic for me. So let's
Yeah.
just do the whole let's do the whole thing.
Absolutely, man. Hell yeah. Shout out to Josh Caldwell for sending me that peep today. That was fun. And then like because he sent me a song from Shadow Zone, which I don't know. I listened to it and he's like, "Hey, I jammed this today and really enjoyed it. I forgot how many bangers were on it." And I like listened, I was like, "Damn, dude, like I love Static X. I always love being reminded of Static X, but I feel like it's a band that I'll like go through, get really into for a while, and then I'll just kind of drift away. And then it's like, but it's a band I can always come back to and just love, dude. Static X is
Hmm.
so damn good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, especially I think for me, it's either the first three or first four albums are just instant nostalgic classics. You
Oh yeah.
got Wisconsin Death Trip, Machine,
Oh yeah.
which I feel like was on every video game at the time. Shadow
Yeah, dude.
Zone had a couple on video games. Then let's is it Start a War is the fourth one?
Chat. Yeah. Start a War, and then Cannibal and Cult of Static.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Awesome, dude.
I do have an idea. It'll be probably be after this one, but I'm gonna keep it a surprise. So, I already have what we'll do after this in mind. So, but it's gonna take a little bit
Okay.
of building to prepare. But
Okay.
be ready, and you won't know until we start that
Oh
episode
shit.
what we'll be doing.
Oh shit. Okay.
No homework, just come on in.
Damn. On the fly, huh? All right.
hmm
I'm down.
Yeah. Yeah, next week we will do Static X's Discog. Um, yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot to bring up, as part of my week. Um, this is weird, but I'll just talk about it anyway. We got time. We all ending a little early, so
Yeah.
Danny and the kids were gone for a night, so I was just like, man, I have all the time in the world to myself. It's like, you know what? I want to go buy
I'm
some
gonna jerk
PS3
off.
games. No, I was like, you know what? I finally found my PS3. I started up the other day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy some PS3 games. And then I looked up, I was like,
Hell yeah.
Last of Us was on PS3. Hell yeah! So I just went to the
Oh
game
yeah, dude.
store, bought Last of Us and Killzone 2. It's like, fuck yeah,
Wow.
all to myself.
You're getting real
Put
nostalgic, man.
Oh yeah, I never played The Last of Us, so or Killzone 2 is like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get to play these games. I put in Last of Us, and it was glitching so bad to where I couldn't play it.
Oh,
Um,
oh no.
like everyone kept
Just a bad
moving,
copy or
cutscene.
what?
I don't know what it was. But it got to a part where I was the daughter. I got in the car. Both the dad and the brother try to get in the car. They're talking about things, and all of a sudden their characters just like are standing up in the truck. Like, so their characters can't drive the truck, so I'm just stuck in the back seat to where I can look around. I was like, well, I'm fucked. I was like, maybe it was just the game. Maybe it's just a bad disc. Maybe there's a common thing. So I put in Killzone 2.
Damn.
Killzone 2 was acting up.
Oh shit. No
And
way.
I could still play it, but like the voices would like either wouldn't talk at all, or they would say something, then would just repeat it over and over and over and over again, just that one word, get, for like a couple minutes. It's like, fuck, something's
Damn,
wrong with my
dude.
PS3. So
Yeah, damn. That's
had to
tough.
had to take it apart slightly, took the hard drive out, and I did a air compressor thing, blew off all the dust because it had been under my bed for like this PS3 is like 13 years old, so
Ancient. Damn.
it was underneath my bed for like I want to say a good 8 years. So,
Wow. Holy shit.
but I
That's
finally got
crazy.
Killzone 2 to load without glitching, but I can't get Last of Us 2 yet, so I might have to take it into Geek Squad because I want to
Yeah.
play The Last of Us so bad because I
Oh,
love the
it's a great
show.
game, dude. Yeah. It is one of my favorite games of all time, dude, for sure. And really almost more for the story. I mean, the gameplay is badass. I think it's one of the best games ever, but that story, man, it hits you hard at times. And
hmm
like there was moments I felt like I was watching a movie and like it making me tear up and shit. I was like, damn, dude, it's crazy. It's it's one of the best, I think, story um writing, of a story in a game that I've seen in a long time. It's pretty well on par with like Rockstar, I think.
Yeah.
I think Rockstar always knocks it out of the park on a story too.
Have you watched the show yet?
I have not.
It's
Is it pretty good?
yeah, the show made me want to play the game. Like
Damn.
I really enjoyed it. I'm almost done with season 2. Have you ever played Last of Us 2?
I want to say I started it, but I didn't get very far at all. So, no.
Did you
Is
get the part
is
with
that the
Joel?
one where you play as the girl? Or do you
I
play as
think
Joel in
so.
that one too?
Well, did you put how far into 2 did you get? Because did you see what happened to Joel?
No.
Well, I might have just ruined it, but that happens in the show.
Does he become the
And
hero?
uh I feel like the hero thing happened at the end of season one, which probably is
Oh,
how Last of Us 1 ended, I'm assuming.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that game was amazing.
Yeah. There is a lot of emotional stuff in the TV show too, so it's pretty good. I recommend if you love the game, you'll love the show because if you playing the game now, I see they kept a lot of like the vibe and everything about like the music in it, the even just like the look of it, like the whole like kind of a
Oh, that's
beautiful
cool.
like wasteland and nature and stuff. Very
Yeah.
well done. And I do think the him and his original daughter's relationship is done very well, kind of like the game. Um, I haven't got to
That's
Ellie in the
cool.
video game yet, obviously, because I can't get them to start the truck, but I'm assuming it's the same.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm gonna have to watch it. Isn't it Pedro Pascal too that plays his?
Yeah, he plays Joel.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
Bella Ramsey plays the girl from
Oh, okay.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. That poor woman, man. She's like a face of memes too.
Yeah, I don't really get they keep calling her Potato. I don't really get it.
I know, it's just like really shitty insult to have on you. Like you're the one and only potato meme
Which I
person.
don't get why it's all of a sudden like she was in all season one. Why are we all of a sudden now calling her Potato? Is it because she's the main person now?
Uh,
And
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, she got her start in Game of Thrones as whatever her name was in that show.
yeah, something Mormount or whatever.
Yeah, can't remember.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's a good show. But then again, I haven't really played the game. Uh, Hopefully the games are like the show because the show's fucking awesome, and I feel like a lot of those
Oh
scenes would
yeah.
be cool to play in a video game.
Yeah, dude, that was what was cool about that game. I remember before it dropped, like that was one of the games they had like a walkthrough or a playthrough of on like that E3 show, or that big E3 convention where they would drop games and shit. But I just remember like watching this playthrough of a dude playing that at E3, man. And like it's very realistic gameplay. Like you have to like sneak around people and shit and crawl and hide behind just like certain items and stuff. But like the animations and the executions and it just gets brutal as hell. Like the gameplay is brutal, man. It's a brutal ass game. It's super fun though. I love it.
Oh yeah. Hopefully I can get my copy to work because I really don't want to have to
Yeah.
either get it fixed or buy a new game, or I might even have to go on Marketplace see if I can get a cheap PS4 just so I can play one and two because I love the show and I love to play the game. It looks awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. I have a PS4 here. Might have to send it to you because I don't know
I
if
gotcha.
I got the PS5 now. So
I have been looking because you said something about buying possibly buying a guitar for Lux.
yeah, I think they would love that, man. She would definitely love something like that. And because anytime I pick up my guitar, I just, basically play dumb riffs. And but they're always like being in the room and watching me and just hearing it, and then they want to try and they'll just kind of finger pick, strum it and stuff. So it's really cool. I love that they're interested in it. But yeah, I think getting them one more fitting for their size would definitely probably benefit them more.
I
I think
gotcha
that'd
because
be cool.
I found one and I thought it would have been perfect for you guys. I'll probably send you a link soon if I can find it again. I
Okay.
think it was only like $100 and it comes with like a mini amp, I want to say. And it was actually like a nice one, like a kid
Oh,
size
okay.
one.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Come on. It was in Springfield, so I'd probably have to go get it and then I can probably take it up there to you at some point. Or if you, whenever you come back down here. Oh my God, come on. Well, anyways, it was a pink flying V, so I figured they would be
Oh,
perfect.
that is cool. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if I can find it again, I'll send you the link. But yeah, yeah, that's always fun. Uh, it's never, I wouldn't say it's never too early, but it is good to start them early at those things. Because I wish my parents would have done that for me. I think I started when I was 15 or 14. But then again, my my guitar teacher was not interested in the same music that I wanted to learn, so it was a little bit of, and also he was blind. But
Disconnect.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, disconnect
Wow.
on a couple things, but yeah, he was more into
The whole
blues
lesson,
and
you're just like,
rockabilly.
are you talking to me?
No, he could see some things. Like he would take me into like we would be sitting in this like guitar room where he had all these guitars on the wall, these giant amps that you plug in, and everything. He's like, "Let's go to my room." We go to his bedroom, and he had this projector because he couldn't see what he would write. So he had had this thing, this giant TV, so we could actually see what he's writing. All right, here, and that's how he would. He was blind as a
Wow.
bat. Uh,
Huh.
I saw him once at Dairy Queen, and I said hey to him. He's like, "Hello, sir." He didn't recognize me.
Uh,
He's like, "I've been going to you for years. How do you not?"
oh man. That's funny.
Yeah, and they're always good to start early because then they have more time. Then, yeah,
Hell
especially when they're
yeah.
well,
I'm
especially when
just
they're
thinking
kids, they
about,
have all the free time.
yeah.
As you get older,
I'm
you
just
get
thinking
less and
about
less of that.
you and this blind teacher and him leading you into a dark room.
It wasn't a dark bedroom, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. Nothing happened. But looking back, it's like I'm like
Come in here,
14
son.
years old
I'm
going
gonna
to the 7-year-old's bedroom. Come into the bedroom.
I'm gonna show you a few things.
This is the G string.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be cool though. I think they would enjoy that. And I'm kind of contemplating, do I get one a drum set and the other guitar? And then, but if I do that, are they going to wish that they had gotten the other's instrument? And
I don't
they
say
just going
then
to
they could
bitch about who
also
gets to
maybe
play
like
what?
go back and forth between each other, unless there is one instrument that they both love more than the other.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think it couldn't hurt, man. Might as well try, right?
But I would recommend for the drum set maybe an electric drum set so that way you can actually control the volume a little bit.
Oh, yeah, true. So it's just like,
Yeah, it's not that at all times.
yeah, true. Good point. Yeah, I'm just gonna like basically start with Meshuggah's, probably sophomore album and then on and just be like, all right, this is Chaos Sphere. This is New Millennium Cyanide Christ. Come on.
You should be getting this. You're 7 now.
Yeah.
Come on.
What the fuck is your problem?
Years of practice for nothing.
It's a palm mute.
I think that's all I got for this week. Anything you want to add for this week?
I think that's it for me, man.
All right. Next week we will be going through the discog of the nostalgic industrial metal band Static X. Exciting time.
Yeah,
But
for
until
sure.
then,
Oh, yes.
do it every time. It's my thumb. My thumb does that. Yeah, you can check us out on Spotify. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts. You can check us out on
Ooh,
Castbox. Really, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. Check us out. We're also on Facebook. If you don't like any of those and you just want to contact us directly, you can also email us at
oh,
deathmetaldaddies@gmail.com. Until then, Death Metal Daddies out.
smoochies.
Welcome back to Death
Oh,
Metal Daddies. My name
I,
is Jeff.
hi. I wasn't really ready.
Let's stop that.